It's Craig from Craig's To-Do List, and I'm here to speak with Jeff Foxworthy, who's in town for the DPAO Summer Concert Series. Jeff, thank you for sitting down with me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Watertown's really excited about having you. It's been the buzz all summer. You've been here before, right?
I have been a few times. I think the last time I did this event, I was thinking in my mind, oh, it's been 6 or 7 years, and it was 1999, so that's how fast time goes.
Yeah, and so everyone was waiting for you to come back. We're glad to have you. I want to talk a little bit about how you got started in comedy. I read that from an early age, this is something that you were drawn to when you were, how did that happen? When you were a little kid? How early, how young was that?
You know what, I just learned early in life I had the ability to make people laugh, and so I would save my allowance and I would buy comedy records. I'd buy Flip Wilson and Bob Newhart and Bill Cosby, and I'd memorize them. I'd go to school and do them. I was always getting in trouble at school for trying to make people laugh. But I never thought, hey, you can do this for a living, you know. Like most people, I got out of school, got a regular job. I worked at IBM. I carried a tool bag and fixed machines. And a bunch of guys that I worked with used to go to the local comedy club, and they kept coming back to work going, you're funnier than those people. You need to do, and they entered me in a contest. Not an amateur night, a contest for working comics. And I wrote 5 minutes about my family, and I won the contest. And
that was the turning point.
Yeah, it really was.
So that gave you confidence and inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I remember driving home going, oh, I can't believe I won, and I just knew that I loved doing it. And of course, when you quit a job at IBM to be a comedian, you know, my mother was like, are you on dope? What is wrong with you? Until 5 years later, I was on Johnny Carson, and then the same mother is going,
telling all her friends.
You know, you wasted all those years at IBM. And I'm like, whatever, Mom, you know. So, but I think I was born to do this. You know, I just found my gift.
I love when you talk about blue-collar comedy, and I love how you have such a relatability to the people. And is that, can you talk a little bit about how you find your inspiration from material and how being connected to the community is really important to storytelling and learning about people?
I mean, I think that's what a comic does. I've been to all 50 states, and so even though the geography and the accents change, people are the same. And so it's to find out, okay, between you and I, what do we have in common? And I just trusted real early on, hey, if I think it, or if my wife says it, or if my family does it, surely there are other people doing that. And so the biggest compliment for me at the end of the night is for somebody to come up and go, oh my God, you've been in our house. Because you know you've taken part of their life that they didn't think about it being funny, and you made them laugh at themselves.
And you also do a lot, I notice a lot of it as storytelling, and you do a lot with the community as well, right? And
yeah, well, I always just wanted to, I mean, I don't live in LA. I had to move to LA to get on Johnny Carson, but you know, after I did the sitcom, I'm like, I want to have a normal life. I want my kids to have a normal life. So we moved back to Georgia. I took my kids to school every day growing up. I go to the grocery store, I go to the Home Depot. And to me, that's how you relate to people. You have a normal life, and so I'm able to talk about what it feels like to wait in line at the grocery store, because I do that, you know?
Joe told us earlier that you paid a visit to the hospital tonight for one of your fans, so I think that proves how much it's important for you to connect with people.
Well, you know, I mean,
I think that's a knack that not everybody has.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I just know who I am and where I came from, and I got an email today that said this guy was sick, just found out he was really sick, and I'm like, okay, if it was my brother, I would appreciate it if somebody went to see him, and so that was easy.
Wondering how it's changed to be a comic in 2017 when you have the web and you have social media and you have all these different platforms and your audience is a lot different, even though you're still doing recordings, albums, I'm assuming, or?
Well, I haven't done an album in a while. I just did a Netflix special, but you know, I told somebody not long ago, if I was starting out, I don't know how I would make a living, because so much of the money that I made from comedy was selling albums, you know, or DVDs. Well, now nobody buys them. You don't have to. You just download whatever. You know, they used to say before a show, hey, no video recording. Now I'm on stage and every third person has their phone like that. So it's on YouTube before I get back to the hotel. So, I mean, it's a different age. You know, politically we've become so divided that we live in such a politically correct age. It's like you can't laugh at anything anymore. And so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to talk about myself. I have the ability to laugh at myself and to laugh at my family. But I think in some ways we take ourselves way too seriously.
And everything becomes political when it's not political.
Yeah, and it's not.
Right.
It's not. But the whole social media thing has, man, from the time I started 33 years ago, it's totally different. But it's still working. People are still laughing.
Yes, sure. Do you have any other, who was a major inspiration for you when you were growing up? You talked about Flip Wilson or?
Yeah, Philip Cosby. You know, I always loved the fact that Cosby could make you laugh and not be dirty. You know, and kind of with the things he's going through now, that's not, but he was a great comic. You know, Bob Newhart was really funny. And then as I got older, it was like, you know, it moved on to Carlin and Pryor. But as a kid, I remember watching the Carol Burnett show and Red Skelton. And I was just always fascinated by people that made people laugh.
It's definitely something that's needed today.
You do. I always said laughter is the release valve that keeps the boiler from exploding. Because, you know, and I tell myself that everybody in the audience is going through some kind of struggle. Everybody's in a battle against